Morning guys, Dr. Sai here, 420 Wolverhampton on Saturday the 30th of July 2016. I'm going to read you today, it's the World Health Organization 10 chemicals of major public health concern. Right, this is from the internal program on chemical safety, and as I say, the top 10 chemicals of major public health concern. Chemicals are a part of our everyday life. All living and intimate matter is made up of chemicals, and virtually every manufactured product involves the use of chemicals. But many chemicals can, when properly used, significantly contribute to the improvement of our quality of life, health and well-being, but other chemicals are highly hazardous and can be negatively affect our health and the environment when improperly managed. Further information on the 10 chemicals or groups of chemicals of major public health concerns can be found from the following links: air pollution, arsenic, asbestos, benzene, cadmium, dioxin and dioxin-like substances, inadequate or excess fluoride, lead, mercury, highly hazardous pesticides. Additionally, the leaflet listed below summarises scientific evidence and provides risk management recommendations for the 10 chemicals or groups of chemicals of major health concern. Okay, there is PDFs attached to that site if you want to pull it off and have a look. But I'll be reading you an extract now on the top 10 poisons that are the legacy of monosanto, going on from the chemical thing, because these chemicals are really dangerous. We'll read you the first one: low calorie sweeteners, including NutraSweet, both including aspartame and saccharin. In 1985, Monsanto bought up Shrill Company, and it was the main producer of artificial sweetener called aspartame used in carbonated beverages. NutraSweet products are low-calorie sweeteners that have been linked to cancer, craving for sugar, obesity, diabetes, and chronic neurological disorders. This is when Monsanto, amongst other powerful corporations in America, donates millions of dollars into research centers and facilities, including American Diabetes Association. That sounds to me like a bit of a conflict of interest. Diabetes Association, cancer causing, aspartame. Yeah, not good. Second one, PCBs. In the late 1920s, Monsanto became the largest producer of polychlorinated biphenyls. PCBs include uses as hydraulic fluid, cutting oil, and lubricant for electronic motors, capacitors, and transformers. PCBs was banned in 1970. Yeah. But the remaining of it still exists along the Dead Creek in Sauget, where Monsanto has its first PCB plant. Monsanto's first PCB plant was in the state of Illinois. That is one of the highest rates of immature death and birth defects. Now PCBs are widely banned and known as one of the most dangerous chemicals related to cancer, immune system disorder, birth defects, and even death. However, after 3 decades, a recent study by the University of California in San Francisco shows that monosanto's PCBs still remains in the blood of pregnant women. Now I've got a link. It's http double dot double forward slash www.ucsf.edu.news 2011 stroke 01 stroke 8371 stroke UCSF dash study dash identifies dash chemicals dash pregnant dash women. Right, number 3, DDD. In 1944, Monsanto, along with other 15 companies, started manufacturing DDT as a pesticide for killing weeds. Despite the claims of Monsanto that DDT was safe, the research in 1970s confirmed that DDT was toxic, and due to public pressure, DDT was banned in 1972. Okay, why is this company still doing business? If I developed a chemical and 2 years down the line it was proven to cause cancer and immature deaths, I'll be struck off. Anyone else will be struck off. These companies think they're too big to fail, which is quite wrong. Number 4, Roundup. Soon after DDT was banned in 1973, Monsanto developed another toxic pesticide called Roundup, even more toxic than DDT. The active ingredient in Roundup is glyphosate molecule used for killing weeds and roots. Glyphosate has been linked to both birth defects, reproduction failure, and deformities in animal laboratories. Roundup is now widely used as common weed killer and is now marketed to 115 countries worldwide. After selling Roundup, Monsanto sales grew by 20% from the 1980s to 1990s. Roundup made up for 45% of the company's income. Many concerned scientific community and researchers, among them Dr. Huber, have warned the officials about the toxicity of Roundup. In fact, Dr. Huber wrote a letter to Tom Vilsack, the Secretary of Agriculture and the former governor of Iowa, who was awarded by the biotech industries as the Governor of the Year. Described his concern is a link between Roundup and a mystery organism. He explained how the mystery organism is causing birth defect and infertility in laboratory animals. In this letter, Dr. Huber writes, "For the past 40 years, I have been a scientist in the professional and military agencies that evaluate and prepare for natural and man-made biological threats, including germ warfare and disease outbreaks. Based on this experience, I believe that the threat that we are facing from this pathogen is unique and of a high risk status. In layman's terms, it should be treated as an emergency." That is Roundup. Hang on, don't know if you can see it. Picture of that chemical. It ends up in the food because it gets soaked into the crops and then it ends up in our genes. Right, moving on. Dr. Huber also asked the Secretary of Agriculture not to approve GMO a flea that can contaminate organic and non-organic crops, GMO crops, due to its pollinated by since it's pollinated by insects. However, both FDA and the Department of Agriculture ignored and didn't respond to any of the doctor's letters. Sounds familiar, that does. Number 5. Bovine growth hormone. The bovine growth hormone, or BGH, is injected to livestock for faster growth and production of more milk. BGH growth hormones can be used can cause painful udder infections and livestock, which forces large commercial dairy farmers to give cows injection of antibiotics routinely. Human beings are exposed to RBGH growth hormones and antibiotics when they consume meat or dairy of livestock that are injected with the hormones. Based on many studies, RBGH growth hormones are related to breast cancer in women and prostate cancer in men. Hormones are also related to a wave of chronic disease including colon cancer, diabetes, heart disease and obesity. Both the European Union and Canada have banned the use of growth hormones in livestock. During George W. Bush's presidency, the French, who have a zero tolerance for using hormones, pesticides and carcinogens, rejected to buy cow's milk grown in America. Probably most remember George Bush's famous quote that either you are with us or with the enemy. Since no act of rebellion against the pesticide empire remains unrewarded, the Bush administration retaliated by increasing steel imported tariffs during GATT talks to punish the French government and accuse them of being anti-American. That sounds very much like George Bush, that does. Right, number 6, genetically modified crops. Monsanto's American dream is to genetically modify our seeds and food supply has turned into a nightmare for everyone, including farmers, including consumers and the US economy. Right, genetically modified seeds and crops are not a full nutritional balance of that plant. So as the more and more these genetically modified crops go on, the more and more our genes will inevitably break down. Although many independent studies have concerned scientists have linked GMOs to obesity, infertility and cancer and even autism, monosanto has been available to fully demonstrate and control our seeds and food supply. The devastating result of GMO crops have caused more than 2,500 deaths of Indian farmers in the last decade. Most disturbingly, these farmers commit suicide by drinking Monsanto's insecticide Roundup that was shipped to them. That is very sad, and that should not be allowed to happen. GMOs have also caused 99% loss of export in US agricultural products due to Europe, and according to the Europe by Washington State University, the use of pesticides have grown by £404 million from the time they were introduced in 1996 through to 2011. GM crops do not grow on their own and are just an expression of the willpower and control of the biotech industry.